The learning objective of this chapter is to introduce the learner to the need for procedures and systems for handling and pre-treatment of marine fuels. All ships need fuel to operate. We normally refer to ship's fuel as bunkers. Machinery type and legislative requirements dictate the types of fuel needed. Commercial considerations, operating pattern, and the legislative requirements for a particular area of operation dictate the quantities of the different types of fuel that will need to be stored on board for a given voyage. It is therefore essential that the vessel has the correct arrangements to store the fuel safely. You should appreciate that safely means that the arrangements are safe for the vessel, for the personnel on board, and for the environment. To achieve this, it is necessary that safe procedures are in place for the storage, transfer, treatment, and use of the fuels. It is also necessary that all of the personnel on board are aware of these procedures and the roles they themselves have to ensure that they are followed correctly for all fuel handling and pre-treatment operations. All seafarers experience the impact of legislation on a daily basis. One of the main sources of this is MARPOL, the marine pollution legislation of IMO, the International Maritime Organization. The main purpose of MARPOL is to identify potential pollution risks and to prevent or minimize any actual pollution resulting from these risks. The various parts of MARPOL deal with the disposal of garbage and sewage, how to handle noxious liquid cargoes and the residues from them, how to handle harmful packaged substances, and, importantly for this module, how we handle fuel oil in order to prevent pollution either into the sea or into the atmosphere. In total, there are 6 annexes within MARPOL. We will need to make reference to Annex 1, Regulations for the Prevention of Pollution by Oil, when we look at the handling procedures for bunkering and storing fuel. We shall also need to make reference to Annex 6, Regulations for the Prevention of Air Pollution from Ships, when we consider the fuel types that are permitted in view of air pollution prevention regulations. Another important piece of legislation from IMO is the International Management Code for the Safe Operation of Ships and for Pollution Prevention, or, as you will probably know it, the International Safety Management Code. As the full title indicates, this legislation covers safety and pollution prevention, so it impacts heavily on bunkering operations and procedures. Many of the procedures that are used to ensure safe, pollution-free bunkering and usage of the fuel will have originated from these anti-pollution regulations. The following sections of the module will look at some typical procedures that are necessary when receiving, handling, and using fuel oil bunkers on board ship. You should always make reference to your own vessel's specific procedures when carrying out any bunkering operations on board.